Dr. Shah, thank you so much for
Sure.
chatting with me today. I'm excited to talk to you. You are accomplished in this world of cardiac surgery at Vanderbilt, but I'd love to hear from you. Tell me what you do exactly.
I have a lot of titles, but primarily I'm a heart surgeon. And I am the chair of cardiac surgery here at Vanderbilt. An adult heart surgeon really focuses on the surgical approaches to fixing people's hearts. So simple as that, ranging from things that people know about, valve surgery and bypass surgery, to heart transplants. So.
I mean, what even got you into hearts specifically in the first place? Like, take me back to the beginning.
Sure. So I'm a proud son of immigrants, and my dad was a physician. So unsurprisingly, I find myself drawn even as an early kid into medicine. In college, I was majoring in engineering, and I thought, I'm going to get this engineering degree. It'll allow me some flexibility. But then I took this course, which was in cardiovascular mechanics. So it's the idea that you can actually measure blood flow and how much you can quantify these things, how the heart works. And I was like, well, that's awesome. This is perfect.
It was this one class that really did it for you.
It really did. And then when I went to medical school at the University of Pittsburgh, which at the time really was the epicenter for transplantation. And it was a really wild place to go to medical school because they were, exciting things were happening. And I found myself really attracted to that field, transplant.
Right.
And then secondly, cardiac transplant. And then as a medical student, I watched a heart transplant. And I was like, this is awesome.
For the first time.
I mean, it was, there are terms people say like epiphanies, but it was just magic. You were like, this is incredible. I want to do this. I want to be part of this.
And what about it was magic, though? What kind of hit you?
The immediacy of what was done. In other words, here's his heart that stinks, doesn't work. The surgeon at the time was a guy named Brack Hatler, who is a great heart surgeon. Without drama, did his job. Put this person on the heart-lung machine, stopped the old heart, cut out the old heart, sewed in the new heart, and then this thing is working. And I was fully aware of what heart transplant is like. You see it in movies and you see the idea of it until you see it in real life, which now.
I have seen it.
You're like, this is incredible.
Our first time meeting was actually in the operating room where a patient is currently getting a new heart. You were walking me through it.
Yep.
And what was that like that day?
Cardiac surgery in general has been probably one of the most filmed phenomena in the world, right?
Because it's so interesting.
It really is. I think for me, even though I've been with camera crews and been in different situations where people have filmed it, no, but it's really good for me because it reminds me how actually extraordinary it really is. Even though I may get a little complacent over time or it just becomes a little bit more routine, it really is a very healthy reminder when the crews come in and people who don't get to see it all the time, they really appreciate it.
Like you see it with fresh eyes, I'd imagine.
You see it with fresh eyes. You got it.
And one of the things that we actually put in our story was you said you want surgery to be boring as possible.
You want it to be boring. That's our goal. All heart surgery particularly it's a compact between you and that patient. They are absolutely giving over to you everything. Their life, the things they care about, love, everything they are giving to you. And that transaction is, now listen, I'm going to let you do this, but you have to deliver. Everybody's got their job. Everybody does their job.
The focus is on the outcome for the patient, I'm sure. But you make it fun anyways. I know that you're playing some music in the OR. What are you normally playing?
Well, so this is a controversial area in surgicalness.
Is it?
There are groups of surgeons who believe in no music, total distraction, don't do it, et cetera. And then there are those of us who feel strongly that music does help in many ways. And whether it's curating the room and sort of keeping everybody relaxed, or even for yourself, full disclosure, my hearing is oddly acute and I have a tendency to listen in on everyone's conversations in the room. And so I have to have music. Otherwise, I'm listening to your conversation while I'm working.
And that's more distracting for you.
Really, because then I have an opinion about whatever it is you're discussing. So
it's better to just have the Beatles on.
100%. So what am I listening to? For the most part, it depends on what I'm listening to in the car.
So here's the DJ then.
It's my operating room.
Fair enough.
I once allowed show tunes and the Hamilton soundtrack because I was being nice, but I couldn't take it. So I'm a AC/DC, Led Zeppelin, Pearl Jam.
Oh, wow.
If things are going badly, this is a true story, I play French cooking music because I find that it makes things better.
Wow. I mean, do you take the time to put the French cooking music on? Or
No, they know now.
oh, okay.
It's a team.
That makes sense. They're aware.
Yeah, they're totally aware.
You've been here for 10 years.
Yep.
Why stay here? What brought you here and what makes you stay?
Actually, I met somebody this last weekend who said that Nashville is a son-in-law town, that a lot of people are here because their spouses wanted to move here or in some way. And so that's part of my story about why I'm here. So we were in Baltimore for 10 years. I was at Johns Hopkins, and things are going great, really great. We started our family in Baltimore, but without any other family there. But by the time we had our third child, I think even both of us were like, well, is this really where we want to raise our kids for the next act of our life? My brother, who's a federal judge, was getting, so he was nominated and then selected, and, the Senate votes him in. And so they have this big ceremony. So we were at this reception, and at my table was his roommate from college, who is a spine surgeon here in Nashville. And he said, "You should come to Nashville. I've been in Baltimore 10 years. We need a heart surgeon. You should think about this." When you work at a place like Johns Hopkins, you think this is it. But it started making you think a little bit about, maybe it's time for a couple reasons. The biggest of which is to reinvent yourself, is to challenge yourself, find a different path potentially than you may have had if you stayed.
So Vanderbilt was a challenge for you.
It was in the sense of I was very happy at Hopkins. I had a big practice, and it would have been easy to stay there for another 10 years. Moving for heart surgeons is hard because you have to reestablish your reputation. I mean, as much as you may think, hey, I'm a really good heart surgeon, nobody knows who you are, really. So you have to, build that trust again. After a mutual kicking of the tires, it made a lot of sense. But it was a big deal. And it was Wright Pinson, who is the head of the health system. And he's the one who really, I think, influenced me the most when he said, the reason you take this job is to reinvent yourself.
Do you feel like you have?
Absolutely. I mean, I think in myself, I think it has made me a better surgeon. It has made me, I think, a better leader. It certainly has afforded me this extraordinary opportunity, which is to be part of, I still think, the greatest heart transplant program in the world. And this has been a decade-long process working with wildly talented people and in an environment that let me do it. And I can honestly say that I don't think any other institution would have allowed our team to do the things that we've done the way that the Vanderbilt leadership has allowed us to do. I think about this all the time. What was it about this place? So certainly, yes, people matter. The geography matters. The patient demand matters. And obviously leadership matters.
It all coalesced for you and made sense, it sounds like.
Absolutely right. And I was lucky that I and then a little bit of luck.
Hmm?
Right place, right time.
Always a little bit of luck.
Stuff.
Is that luck, is in the greatest team in the world, in your words, going to keep you here?
Time will tell. No, I think, it's like you said, it's 10 years. So, what's next? I don't know. I could definitely see myself here for another 10 years, but I definitely need to find that next challenge. Because you also need to make room for everybody else.
Right.
And so, give that breathing space that the next generation of surgical innovators and physician scientists, what they need. Step aside, let them run with it.
Well, I mean, it sounds like there's constantly innovation at Vanderbilt, but, with transplant specifically. So it seems like there are future challenges for you and people like you that are here.
It is a miracle. It is marvelous. It's totally imperfect. And so that also drives a lot of us. Like, how do you make it better?
Well, we'll see what the future brings.
Yes.
But what have you noticed, if anything, with working with patients in Nashville specifically? Or have you had moments that are like, this is so Nashville?
I think it is a level of gratitude for the work that you're doing that in many other parts of the country, there's almost this expectation that, of course, you're gonna do this operation and you're gonna do it well. What I've been struck by the most, the vast majority of people we take care of are grateful. They're grateful that you are gonna go out there and help them.
You know, we have to keep pinching each other. So, I love you.
I feel like a miracle.
I just started crying. I was just thanking God. I was like, we got the call, we got the call. Thank you, God. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Vanderbilt.
And as simple as the amount of hugging that goes on in the waiting room, that's actually not common. There's not as much hugging as you might imagine on the East Coast. There's always a little bit of tension over there.
We do have to hug here.
There's a little bit of hugging that goes on, and I think that speaks to the authentic gratitude. The flip side is that moment when you go to the waiting room and you think of it as, right, I was saying the operation's boring, this was fine, and particularly around heart transplant, which we do so many of, that you're like, all right, case is done, I'm going to go out there. And you go to the waiting room, and then you see that family, and they look up at you, and that look on their face of terror, relief, hope, that's a reminder of how powerful this experience and this opportunity is for people like me. And I don't get tired of that. I think that's actually the universe reminding me that I need to really be really good at my job.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense. And I know there's a lot of hard moments like that you described. It can be very emotionally heavy. But on the flip side, I have also heard that your colleagues know you to be a bit, comedic at times and bringing liveliness to the OR.
I think everybody thinks they're funny. So, yeah, I think I'm
so you think you're funny?
I think I'm wildly entertaining
I think you're funny.
in the operating room. I think the more interesting thing is the fact that we talk so much about our families in the operating room. In fact, I think my wife once said, "How do these people know this much about our family?" I'm like, "What else are we going to talk about in the operating room? Surgery?"
Are you also, and you're chatting about probably your band you were telling me about?
I speak very frugally about my band, Low Back Pain.
Low back.
Because it's still a work in progress.
Okay.
But I mean, I think that, yes, that is important to me because I do consider that space sacred. That operating room is a sacred place to me. But it also is my family within a family. Right. And for that team to work well, I think they need to feel like they're in a safe place. It's a high stress, high performance place, but I think we get the most out of each other when there's a lot of mutual trust, mutual admiration, and when there's some joy there. This place in this city has given me an opportunity that I couldn't get anywhere else. It has provided a home, for my family, and one where they're thriving. And even though I think all of us who've lived here in the city have complained about a variety of things that have been going on, it's still a city that, has some really unique features. It's got a soul to it.
It's a good full circle moment.
It's full circle, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us. I appreciate it. I was warned that you might curse during this, so I'm shocked that you haven't.
It is bull that I have that reputation. Now, first of all,
there it is.
So the reason that I have this reputation is because I'm an older dad. I've had little kids around, and so you can't use profanity at home.
So you have to use it.
At work. You can't leave that inside of you. It's bad.
It's unhealthy.
You'll get sick.
Exactly.
You'll get physically ill.
Well, you're the expert here, so.
I am a doctor.